G'day traders, John from Crypto Candlestick Trading, just doing a quick update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. So we've had the Bitcoin halving. We'll just get straight into it, we've had the Bitcoin halving, and now we're here at this, like we're a couple of days into the halving, and I just want to go back in history and see what we could possibly expect from the halving. Here we got 2012, the halving, and this is the result that happened after it. I was on this run, and it was fantastic. This one here, 2016, I was actually on this run as well, and this one here went from I think this one was the biggest one because it went from like $700 to 20,000 US dollars, and so that was the halving there. But as you can see with the halving, we halved, and then we kind of tried to climb up a little bit, and then we declined drastically. We undercut these lows here to get rid of all the weak hands, and then we took off. Let's go back and have a look at the other one. No, we didn't actually undercut any lows there, so here we just undercut the lows, and then we took off. So basically what big money want to do is anyone that's got the stop losses below here or below the day that it actually happened, they want to take out all those stop losses to get rid of all the weak hands. So you can imagine how many people back here and back here that had all their stops underneath and thinking, yep, okay, we're right. And then anyway, they get stopped out and they go, nah, this isn't for me, I'm out. And then only to see it go from $700 to 20,000 without them on it. So if your first entry doesn't work, this is why it's important to take the second entry. And also another thing we can see here as well is that even then we came down to here and we came down, like below, cut those lows there. We've come up with, we've closed above the 50. We've come back down and rested on the 50 and found support there. And then we've started taking off again, and things, people are looking, yep, this is great, we're going to take off from here. But then we've got this other shakeout here, and so this takes out all the stop losses below here, and even, I don't think it actually quite reached these lows here, but anyway, in any case, when we close above the 50, all these stops that were placed below the lows here were taken out by this one here before we actually took off. That's 2016. Let's move on. So this is 2020. So here we've got 2020, and it goes from down here, 8,000, this went up to 64,000. And so we can kind of see here how it went up and down, up and down, a little bit choppy sort of thing, and then it tightened up really nicely. If we drew a trend line down there and bought a break of that trend line there, we would have been, it would have been great. But one thing we can see as well is how choppy this is. Like once we get in, we need to know what to expect when the halving happens. And so now that the Bitcoin halving has happened, it's not always smooth sailing. So here we've gone up and things are looking fantastic, and then all of a sudden a massive decline that's happened here, and then we've come through again and we've broken the 50 again and they're taken off. So we do need to be aware that there is turbulent times even after the halving has happened. Okay, next one. So this is the one that's just happened, and so on this day right here where the top of that arrow is right there, so 3 days ago, so stochastics are oversold. We've got a little bit of volume coming back into the market, which is really good, buying volume, but so this was the day here that it halved, and now we've just started a new candle today, and we're just around about 67,000 almost, or something like that. But what we can see is actually, let's move on. I'll just go over to the other one here. So here's the halving. This was the day that it happened. Let me just get my little trusty texter there. This is the day that it happened right here, and so there's the Bitcoin halving day. I've got rid of my drawings before, but so we can see here, I'll just get rid of these drawings, so we can see here that we're under the 50, and usually when we're under the 50, it doesn't just like take off straight through the 50. I mean, it can do, but it doesn't usually always do that. So here we can see that we've kind of come under the 50, attempted the 50, and now we've kind of gone sideways until we actually broke above this previous high base here, and then gave us an entry right there. Let's go back a little bit further. So here we've closed below the 50, tried the 50. Here we came up to the 50 and kind of failed a little bit. Up we got above the 50 again, found support again at the 50, and then we took off from there. Let's go back and have a little bit further. So here under the 50, resistance at the 50, tried at the 50, breakthrough. Here, tried, so here we went straight under and then straight back above. So we can kind of see that when we actually go below the 50, it kind of hugs the 50 quite well. And then, but it usually doesn't happen in a day, like closing back above the 50. What it will try to do is attempt and then attempt again, and even attempt a third time before it actually breaks through the highs of the 50, back above the 50 anyway. So now looking at where we are, sooner or later I'll get there. So this is the day here, and we've come up to there, and so we've got 1, 2, 3 green days, a red day, and then a green day. This is all in an upward motion, which isn't ideal. What I'd like to see is for the lows, like these are good lows, simply because they have taken out the So this line here, I'm going to get to all these lines in a sec. This line here that I just put on there, so that's the low there. It's broken that low here, and it's also broken this low here. So anyone who's had the stop losses below there and below here has now been taken out from these lows here. So we could almost say that this is actually, still building the bottom of a base. Let's just try that base and we'll just have a look and just see what it looks like. So if we were to draw a base somewhere from the tops there to the bottoms there, yeah, that's, like this is an actual base. We are showing strength in the base. There is a little bit of buying coming back in. But one thing that I am seeing is we've got exuberance at the top here. I want things to tighten up a little bit before we start looking at buying. And so this wide and loose trading here, the sort of thing that I'm looking at now, like we've got, we can't ignore what the chart is telling us. We've got a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, and now we've got resistance at the 50, and we've sold off around about 30% on the close of yesterday's candle. So, I mean, this could break above it, but so far at the moment, this chart is telling me that we've got resistance at the 50, and we've got a previous support becomes new resistance at the 50. Even though it's pretty light, it's not kind of heavy and a major, but, it is still there. So the sort of picture I had in my mind, so that was the 20, I'll just get rid of that drawing there. So the sort of picture I had in my mind, if this continues, high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then just to shake out and get rid of all these other, traders, or it might even just come below this low here, who knows. But it would not surprise me if we have one more take to the downside, and, it could even go to there and then just turn around and take off. No one knows what this market's going to do, Another thing we need to look at as well is that even though Bitcoin has halved, the last 3 times, and they've done fantastically well, all we can do is go back and have a look at what the previous charts told us to do, or what they did, and we can kind of work out in sort of an average of what we should expect from here. So we know that it doesn't just go straight up, straight after the halving, and it wouldn't surprise me if we do have some sort of a decline before we take off. But when we do take off, we definitely want to be on it. I'll just go through a couple of quick cryptos before I finish up, and but so far at this stage, I am looking at I am expecting some massive gains from this halving. There's a few things that are different about this halving, and that is that we have institutional money that is backing the halving this time. So once they really dig their heels in, I think that we could take off drastically from there. And so if we have a look at these here. So we've got a downtrending line there. Let's just carry on that downtrending line. It doesn't really matter. Like a lot of these charts look very similar to each other. So the first thing we're going to do is, find support on the 200 and then come up to this trend line or the previous resistance or somewhere up around about in here. What's going to happen there? Are we going to fail again, or are we going to go a little bit sideways before we break out? Who knows? But what we need to do is just keep in mind, the charts are saying that we've got a high, a low, lower high, and a lower low. This is confirmation of a downtrend. So we can't just be going out there and buying frantically. You can see this one here. It's closed above Shiba. That's pretty good, actually. This one here, I do like this one. Look at this, tightening up nicely. I don't like that shooting star there, though. Massive engulfing. Exuberance. This to me just... there's a few sell signals in here already. And up here, we've got exuberance, and then massive sell-off there. And then come back down to the 50, engulfing, bang, buy. Another one, buy. Solana. So I bought one Solana the other day. I was just dollar cost averaging in, and anyway, Solana, I just, I remember buying Ethereum when it was $40, and then I thought I'd get into Solana. It's $250 Aussie. So, is that cheap or is that expensive? We'll see in a few years' time. Solana, yep, still under the 50. It's trying. Here, you've got exuberance. V-chain. So look how sloppy and terrible this trading is. So 3.5 cents up to 5.5 cents. Like, that's massive in 2 days. Like, that's wide and loose trading no matter which way you look at it. That's horrible. What an ugly looking chart. That's but anyway, I've got plenty of it, but I got it in my dollar cost averaging account. This one here, looking at a downtrending line there, it looks like we're going to come up and approach that one again. But this run that is going to happen, I believe, is going to be absolutely massive. But then again, hey, that's an opinion. Let's just not worry about what I just said then. But it would not surprise me because, from the previous gains and just the amount of money that we've got in here, coming in. Look at this. I do like this here. I did buy some DOT the other day, and that engulfing above there, and we've got support, another engulfing here. It would not surprise me if we come back down. Like, this sort of setup here looks pretty weak. You know, we do have a fair bit of volume that's gone into that one there, but we've got a little bit of a wick at the top and the bottom too. So, you know, if we were having a look at that one there, and then having a look at something similar like it, you know, that's this here. You know, it's gone up and then folded over a little bit, and then, you know, taken off from there. So this one here looks, you know, reasonably similar. You know, this one here looks pretty similar. You know, they just kind of go a little bit sideways before they take off. So that's, you know, this candle here and this candle here, they don't represent, you know, just a massive takeoff. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if it just consolidates a little bit before we actually take off. But dot, I like dot a lot. Same with avalanche. I like avalanche a lot too, and that's looking very much like dot. So we come back down here on the 200, found support, doji, you know, massive candle. You know, I do like this this volume here too. Look at that volume; it's just beautiful. You know, there's so much money that's come in there. Then they've had a sell-off, and you know, this is to get rid of all the weak hands, all the mums and dads' money, so that these institutions can keep on buying and do the same again. I think I'll probably leave it around about here, traders, and I've got another video to make, and then we'll go for, you know. So if you have any problems with your charts, any questions that you want answered, just let me know, and I'm happy to spend some time with you with the charts. Look at this, that engulfing, you know, that's beautiful, that entry there. This is another good entry here, but you would have been stopped out. There's another good entry there, you might have been stopped out there. Here's an engulfing, another one, but look at this, you would have been stopped out with this one here before the run. That's big money playing the game, and unfortunately it does happen. Like, look at this, this is just ridiculous trading. All right, traders, I'm going to leave it at that. If you have any problems with your charts, let me know. I'll talk to you again soon. See ya.